this is an open letter to Nintendo and to the vertical gaming community. That is to say, let's use that gamepad screen vertically, and not only in fun and wacky ways with WarioWare and F-Zero on Nintendo Land, but how about using it as a vertical display arcade style? Now, while it's fun and interesting to tilt back and forth, I'd much rather be using the analog stick and to control the direction, and the D-pad to use the buttons assigned to shooting or dodging or certain things like that. So I've created a show specifically filmed in vertical rotated Tate mode so that any Wii U user can just turn their screen vertically and watch and get an idea of how strong this format is for playing games. I'm very pleased with Game & Wario. It's a $40 game. I had to track down a physical copy. GameStop only had one and sold it before I got there, but Target had it, so I made sure I was early in the morning to pick it up. Very pleased to have a physical copy. If you can't grab a physical copy, download it for $40 on the eShop. It's fun, it's wacky, gets the family together, your friends together. Fun for single player, just a really unique gameplay experience. Imagine for a moment if Nintendo drew back into their arcade history. There are a multitude of Nintendo games that are built on that vertical orientation. And a perfect example is Donkey Kong. If you sold something like this, I would buy it, and others would too. Now, I know it may be a pipe dream of mine to think about this, but imagine a cave game on the gamepad. I couldn't imagine it to be much different than the iPad ports, although the iPad ports use touchscreens. If this were on the vertical gamepad, you could use maybe the down arrow as shot, the right arrow as rapid shot, the left arrow as bomb, and you could even assign certain buttons at the bottom of the screen, the gameplay screen, that can do certain maneuvers as well. What we're showcasing here is Mushihimesama Futari 1.5 Black Label on the Xbox 360. This is the arcade mode, and I did put some scanline filters just to show how awesome that scanline adds to the game. The scanlines add to the game. And just since you are watching this on your Wii U Gamepad, go ahead, hold the Wii U Gamepad, place your left thumb on that analog stick, and imagine that if they got the control right mapped to that analog stick, and the buttons right mapped to those the D-pad buttons, and maybe an extra button on the screen, how fun a game like this would be. The score attack would be addictive. It would be provided to a whole new community of Nintendo users. And perhaps it would also take some of those hardcore shoot-'em-up, vertical shmup fans from the Xbox 360, which is the undisputed king of the shooters of this generation, and it would draw them to this new Nintendo console that not only has beautiful retro games available on the Virtual Console, but also diverse ways of playing. And isn't that the whole point of the Game & Wario, is to show how amazing the capabilities of the system are, and show that there are new ways to play? Now, you could still present the main screen in a vertical in a horizontal orientation of the vertical screen, and I don't think it would harm the presentation. Now, of course, I'd like the opportunity to tape my large screen CD with LCD within the settings, but when it comes down to it, I mean, just put your hands on this. It's a beautiful game. I don't know the relationship between Cave and Nintendo, and I don't want to assume that I know anything about the business, which I don't. I'm just a consumer who can tell a good game when he plays it, and can see the possibilities of that gamepad and the gameplay experience that can come along with it. So Nintendo, here's your chance to show your ingenuity, to show your gameplay even further in a specific genre in a way that just can't and won't be experienced on the Xbox 180 and the PlayStation 4. Your system is created in such a way to allow so many experiences. Why not build on something that already exists and use its leverage to push your product even more? Here's Mushihimesama HD, which was released exclusively in Japan for the Xbox 360, and it's a region-locked game. Mushihimesama was released in the arcades before Mushihimesama Futari, but this interpretation of it, this HD version, was released after the Mushihimesama Futari port. And I chose this stage in particular as a sample of a screen-filling, beautiful, moving, pulsing, disgusting, exploding insect behemoth that you have to take on in this game. There's so many different parts and moving. It's such an experience to sit down and play this game on an arcade machine, and one that I would love to have in my hands. So I encourage you, as you watch this, to fake play it. Imagine playing a game, this game, or games like it, on the Wii U Gamepad. Now, it would take some adjusting to get used to the weight of the gamepad and the height, but if you had something to rest it on, just the tip of it, and I've tried this out, maybe on the tip of your knee, to see what type of control you could have over that analog stick. And I'm convinced that it would be a stellar platform and a credit to Nintendo and their business for them to provide this type of experience for us gamers. It seems like Nintendo is smartly leveraging their intellectual properties and their games that have succeeded for the past 30 years, games like Mario, Donkey Kong, Legend of Zelda, Super Smash Bros., Pokemon. And it's to their credit. They really, really have some of the most amazing, enthralling, beautifully put together games that are fun, that make people smile. If Nintendo wants to be successful, they need to make those games, but they probably also need to branch out. And with the ease of tilting that gamepad, you gotta consider how wonderful arcade games would be. How intense is this game? Look at all of the animation and bullets and explosions and the way that your options move and the different patterns that the bullets come at you, and these larvae flies coming out of this thing, and you doing your every bit that you can to stay alive, to avoid those bullets, and to quickly destroy the enemies so that they won't throw another 100 bullets at you. Taking out the head of this creature releases a 1-up, and out comes this angelic larvae form of the boss that challenges you not to stare at it and instead to focus on the bullets. It's got such an otherworldly feel with the beautiful flapping of its wings and the heart pounding in the center of it. It is just so magnetic, and another great example of Cave's mastery and their artistry in their games. After collecting all of those beautiful golden gems, the boss transforms again, and it's not quite such a beautiful boss. It's now an uglier, otherworldly kind of scary thing. It looks like it's gonna ingest you, pull you into its translucent, transparent body and digest you with all of these horrible acids. But I got the best of it this time, and an achievement. Nintendo has done it before with vertical shooters, specifically with the Ikaruga on the GameCube, and it looked beautiful. And I remember playing through this blue-hued stage with the white bullets and the dark bullets coming, and then all of a sudden these two powerful white lasers coming in and washing the screen in this beautiful, pleasing color. You've done it before, Nintendo. I would love to see you do it again.
Game over. お疲れ様でした。